Welcome to this look at 2 mod maps on Farming Simulator 22 with me, MrSealyp. Ladies and gentlemen, we are, well, we're not there yet, but we're on ALTES land, old land today. This is by the Lort and Paddy, 164.75 megabytes download. There are 10 required mods that download automatically. As you can see, this is saying Elm Creek at the moment because there's a reason why I need to show this. This is on the Maps I Missed series. And I'm starting here because this is a double whammy, this one. So you've got old land, small farm, and old land, large farm. So we have 2 different options on the map to pick. Now I'm going to explain the differences when we get on there. I'm going to do my map tour on small farm. And it doesn't matter because the map's exactly the same. The map's identical, it's just the change of location for where your start farm is. But all will be explained on the map tour. But just so if you come onto here, if you decide by watching this, actually I might give that one a go, I didn't want to ignore it, and then you think, oh hang on, well, what do I do, which one do I pick? So both maps are the same, it just comes down to what farm you start at, and I will show all of that on there. So I will see you on the map momentarily. But what does it all mean? It's very confusing. It's not, it's all good, we should be fine. So we do have an additional crop type. We have field grass. If we go into here and roll in, come down to here. Under seeders, you'll see the one next to grass is field grass. That is a crop which can be then harvested and sold. So under seeders, not planters, and then harvesting it is done with a regular header, as you can see there, the extra crop type added on the end. And what I'm going to do, which I hadn't done previously, I'm going to do what I've done before. I'm going to go down to the bottom and I'm going to check to make sure there is a sell point for the field grass, because we've had a few maps that we've done like this. Yes, we've got a few, that's good, where it had field grass but didn't have anywhere you could sell it, which could be a bit of a problem, I would say. There are collectibles, 100 of. You do start with, on New Farmer, a small greenhouse, because you own the land. That's on both maps, so if you go onto a New Farmer, you own the same amount, you own the same land. I'll show you the map, it will make more sense. So this is the map. Now this is kind of the map area we're kind of used to, but we've got this as well. Now you can buy plot 84, which is 9,284,292. You don't get anything. I mean, you've got there's land, but there's no sell points, there's no pastures, there's nothing, and that's all water out there. So if you wanted to, you could. The map is this bit here. So on New Farmer, on both maps, you start with these tracts of land and the small farm, which is just there. These tracts of land and the large farm, which is just here. So on this map, on the small one, our equipment and machinery is all here at the small farm. We're going to go around the map and have a look. Field prices are roughly what you would expect for the size. We've got some small plots, some small fields, then some mediums, and we kind of work our way up to large ones. We've got a couple of large grass fields. They're not pastures. I did buy those off camera to double check. But again, the prices aren't too bad. And then down the side of the map here, we have got forestry plots, and we've got the sawmill, which is just there, which we're going to get to later on. You've got this little plot here, plot 13, which has got a few trees on it. So what you can, if you want to, buy plot 13, cut those trees down, extend field 14. If you wanted to do that, you can. But we start up here in the town. So we're going to go on foot around the town first. And then we're going to go to the store, grab a pickup, and then we'll head down and we'll go around the map. It won't take too long. We'll talk about what's been added in under build mode. So we're going to build mode. The first thing we're going to look under, so this is in addition to the 10 required mods. Under silos, we have got some there put in under old land, just those 2 there. If we then go to, nothing under the others there, factories. We've got some of these put in, so we have got cafe without decoration, we've got a windmill, and then we've got the biomass heating plant. It's been on a few of the Lort's maps, so rather than the biomass heating plant just being a sell point, this one you can bring wood chip and straw, it produces heat, but you can make solid fertiliser as a production out of that, which we'll have a look at later on. If we come out of there, we go on to greenhouses. We've got a couple of greenhouses added in, a large and small greenhouse. We have got under generators, I have put in the government subsidy signs because I need to put the money up. I was going to say that as well. I've already put some money in to make life a little bit easier as we go around. On New Farm you start with 100,000, but I've put the extra in. So there are windmills, wind turbines you can put in here. They earn the same amount as the standard in-game ones, but they are it has been modded to be put in. What else have we got? Oh yeah, I think under animals the only one we had was horses that have been added in over and above. Yep, just there, horse barn. And then if we go to decoration, we had, I don't think it was anything. I'm trying to think, was it under others? No, that was all part of the required mods. Then we go to landscaping. Painting's a big one. Paint textures. We have got absolutely loads put in here under paint textures, as you can see. Every type of cobble and paving you could possibly want, all thrown in there. So yeah, quite a bit in there. And then I think it was under plants we had a load as well. As you can see there, old land mod. All of these textures and plants we can put down as well. So plenty put in under build mode by the Lort and Paddy. Did I say it was by the Lort and Paddy? I hope I did at the start. Because I did the start slightly differently. I have a method and I have my way of doing it. And it's weird how if you change that, I'm now thinking, have I missed stuff? Have I done it how it should have been done? Anyway, so we start at the little town village at the top here. Now what's interesting about this reminds me very much of another one of the Lort's maps. This corner section here with the village, like we're in the top part of another map, and I can't put my finger on which one it was. So as I said at the start, this is a twofer. Buy one, get one free, double whammy, however you want to refer to it. On New Farmer on the small farm map, the slot count is 1,579 on all three game modes. On the large farm map, on all three game modes, it's 1,555. Just so you're aware. You can get that slot count down. When we get to the small farm, I will show you a couple of screenshots I took. You can remove the farm buildings, you can remove all the decorative objects, you can remove the decorative objects one at a time. So if you wanted to simulate, do a storyline where you are clearing the farm up, tidying things away, you can gradually sell each individual decorative item. I got the slot count down to 1,004. You can probably get it lower because you can remove fences, hedges, things like that. So just so you're aware. So we'll start here. Supermarket sell point. Which around the back. There are collectibles everywhere because it's a fairly small map. They are littering the countryside, so you can find them all over the place. If we hop the fence here and come up the sides here, we come to the gas station, and we've got some electric charge points at the gas station as well. We come up around here, we've got the cafe, which can be purchased, has some extra productions to it. So we click on that, 26,000 for the cafe. Bread and cake, which is normal, but then we've got the dairy products as well, butter, cheese and chocolate, and we've got soy drink, which is available. And I'm pretty sure on a lot of Lort maps we've got that biomass heating plant, and then we have the soy drink, seems to be a sort of standard fare for the Lort. We come across the top here. We've got spinnery just here. And then behind the spinnery, we've got a tiny little plot, which is here. So here's our spinnery. Now, it's a standard spinnery. I don't need to buy that, but it's standard. And then here we've got the biomass heating plant, which is that. We've got a buy anything silo, so for buying products and things if you want to. But this little plot here, if we come to the map, so we came up from here, did all of these. We're here. So this little plot here in the middle. Now this is part of the verges. That bit I said that was the big plot. I suppose if you wanted, I'm surprised it's not separate, but you can get the roadways and this little town area. So if you want to add in some sell points and stuff, you could, but it's on that big expensive plot. But anyway, right in the middle of that, you've got plot 44, which is 2016. Do that, and that, and it adds in the large greenhouse just there. So for that price, you get it, and you get the little plot of land it's on to utilise. Or remove, or whatever you want to do, that's up to you. Come round to the biomass heating plant, just here, 40 grand. And if you've seen, like I say, if you've seen any of my map tours on Lort maps, so we've got wood chip and straw in. Heat is a byproduct, or heat is the product, I guess. But then solid fertiliser is a byproduct we can get out of here as well. Like I said, buy anything silo just there. What we're going to do is whiz around the back here. Because I seem to recall on another map, coming right the way across the map up to the top corner, and coming round the little village, there being a cafe, then going way out that way. I can't think for the life of me which one it was. Just around the back here, we've got the animal dealer, livestock market. I do like an animated animal at a livestock market. Just adds to that immersion. And we come back around the town, down to the next points. It's really, everything I've been talking about. It's a really nice map. It's really picturesque. The lighting's great. The colour palette's great. The texture palette works well. It's not a massive map. So if you want to just come on and have a go and play with some, I say, smaller equipment, you don't have to play with small equipment. There are some large-ish fields. Traffic's quite rapid. Open the gates here. Now these are standard, so I'm not going to buy these. We've got a grain mill to our left, and we've got a dairy to the right, which can be purchased. I think the land can be purchased here as well. I will double check that. So we are now here. Yeah, plot 36, 16,956. Doesn't change what's here, but we do have. Oh, that was what I was going to say. Sorry. Sell point factories is just there. So we have got our grain mill, we've got our dairy, and then the sell point factories, which is just there. So if you take on a contract, which are available, contracts are available. If I didn't mention that at the start, but it tells you you've got to take it to factories. That's where the sell point is. Often it will flash. It depends what option you've gone for. To show you, next door to that, we've got the vehicle shop and workshop, vehicle store, machinery store, without trigger just there, workshop trigger just here, and this is also the reset point on the map. So if you need to reset for any particular reason, it will reset to this large area just here. I'm going to grab myself a pickup, or I might get myself a Mahindra or something like that, and let's get around the rest of the map. Yeah, I went Mahindra. Why not? Let's hop in. I'm going to be very good. I'm going to stop at junctions. I'm going to check for traffic, which I don't normally do. It's interesting that the option for... There have been maps that have had an option of a couple of different versions. But it's interesting the fact you can start at two different places. Whilst it is the same map, the farms are exactly the same, but the equipment shifts. But there's more to it than that as well, which I found fascinating. And the farms are very different in, it's a small farm, it's a large farm, but these are really, really picturesque, really detailed. And as I said, if you decided you wanted to do an episode where you're decluttering the farm, or over a period of time you wanted to, all of these things are part of one of the required mods, and it's the Decorative Details pack, I think it is, by TrianglesTrouble, so you can remove all these bits individually. Anyway, that being said, cows. At the small farm, we've got 5 out of 35 cows just here. We come around the side here, we've got a slurry store, liquid manure tank, trailer just there. We have got a windrower. Then we've got our mowing equipment, various different bits and bobs laying around. Tedder, plough, seeder. We've got our Axion, drop nose Massey and Fent just there. Cultivator, small forage wagon. We do our sleep trigger just here. There's no point me even saying spoiler alert. Everywhere you turn there are collectibles. I can't really hide them. Then in the barn here we have sheep, 5 out of 25. Just in here. And then the harvester is just there with the harvester header and header trailer just there. Now all of the equipment and machinery is in need of repair. If we click on that, or not click on it, but go over to it, look at our information panel at the bottom right. Damage 60%. Exactly. Sheep agrees. That one 50%. That one 50. I think are they all 50? Yeah. So may require a bit of servicing, but what we're going to do from here We have got a manure heap round the back, a sort of manure heap, manure plate. Should have walked around there, so I was going around there anyway, but excuse me, it's just round the back there. Manure heap tucked in the corner. This has a very natural feel to it. I think just the way the stuff's been laid out, the decorative objects, and then the weeds and flowers and stuff that are up around the buildings, it has that feel that, yeah, maybe it does need a little bit of looking after, maybe it does need a bit of clearing and tidying, but it does feel very real. I don't know. It's difficult to, I've always said on map tours, it's difficult to quantify. If we come around the back of the building here, tucked around the back, on New Farmer you will start with it. Small greenhouse. So we bought that little plot that gave us the large greenhouse, but you do have a small greenhouse here at the small farm around the back of the building, just there. So what we're going to do now is head out east. Taking some more of this lovely countryside. Head down towards the sawmill and the biogas plant. Biogas plant wasn't too expensive, I recall. So as I said, forestry is all up the side of the map. So sort of narrow plots running up the side. But if you don't want to do forestry, you don't have to. It does still surprise me when I get messages or comments when I do map tours, and I'll say whatever I've said on a map tour, and I'll get a message from someone saying, but I don't want to do X, Y, Z. You don't have to. It's yeah, it's entirely up to you. You can do whatever you want on a map. You can just come on and just sit and listen to the sounds, listen to the birds tweeting, spend an hour or so just de-stressing. You don't have to do anything at all if you don't want to, but you can if you want. So, sawmill just here, standard. Well, that's saying 250 grand. That's quite expensive for a sawmill, to be fair. A few collectibles dotted around, and our wood chips will spawn there. It doesn't mention platinum expansion, but a little bit further round. Actually, what I'm going to do first, because I think the turning comes up before the biogas plant one, only by a few feet. But if we turn down, whoa, it does not want to stop. Down this little track here, down to the windmill. This is one of those maps. There are a lot of small maps out there. Again, we've done a few conversations regarding FS25 and things recently about people that don't have a lot of time to play, that don't have hours and hours and hours. They might get in from work, have an hour, they'll play, then they'll have their dinner, go to bed, get up, and it's just rinse, repeat, you know. When you've got a big map, I know there have been conversations about, with the current generation consoles being used for FS25, are we going to see potentially 4x maps? There has been talk of testing being done on 16x maps. 4x would be phenomenal. 16 would, I mean, that would, the mind boggles. A small map is lovely if you haven't got a lot of time, because you haven't got time to drive across the entire map backwards and forwards for delivering stuff, or going to harvest, or taking small machinery. You know, I know it sounds ridiculous, but if you've got hours and hours and hours to play, it doesn't matter. And you can spend time driving across the map, and it adds that realism of, we're actually going to go and deliver this stuff, it's going to take half an hour to drive across the map, you know. That adds to that whole, you're travelling. But if you haven't got a lot of time, half an hour to travel across a map when you've only got an hour to play the game, so a map like this is absolutely spot on for that kind of thing. Anyway, windmill. So I'm just, you know, extolling its virtues. 50 grand, and this one does a whole load of stuff. So all these different crop types in. It's just wheat. It's just wheat. It is just flour out. There's not different types of flour or different types of products out, but you can bring pretty much any of your main crop types here, and they will be ground down and turned into flour. So that's the little windmill just here. Because I've bought it, it's now stopped running. Sorry about that. So, just a little way down the road from that, just here, we've got the biogas plant. This is plot 10. Is it plot 10? Please be plot 10. So, out from the main town, down to here, and out to the little farm. Went round the little farm, out on there, down to the sawmill, swung around there, and down here to the windmill, back up here, plot 10, 86,094, which isn't too bad at all when you consider that will get you the biogas plant and the land it's on. Now, the biogas plant, I couldn't sell the silage clamps, couldn't sell the shed, and couldn't sell the weighing station. However, you can sell the biogas plant. So if there was a different biogas plant you wanted to use, then it's a standard biogas plant with crop types in and digestate out. You can sell this. I was going to put up a screenshot, but I'll show you. If we want to, we're going to demolish. Take that out, and you've got all this space here. There's no decorative objects in the way. There's no lights, lamps, and posts, anything like that at all. This, unfortunately, but not unfortunately, you'll need silage clamps if you're on a biogas plant, and you might want shelter as well. Plenty of room there for putting in a different biogas plant if you wanted to, and there are tons available. Or you might decide I might want to put a little cow farm on here. Silage clamps, shed, make it into a farm area. It's entirely up to you, but you can remove that, which may well help. Now that was part of when I said I got the slot count down to 1004 from 1579. That was one of the things I did. I removed the biogas plant as well. But again, like I say, you could probably get it lower. But the fact you can remove everything at the farms does make life a little bit easier for customization and that kind of thing. So, sweep around. That little plot 13 that I was saying about, which is a little clump of trees at the corner of the field, that's coming up on our right. And it's an intriguing one. So yeah, you can buy that little plot there and remove the trees if you want. Go for it. Right, round the roundabout. It's unlike me going the right way, isn't it? What's that all about? And down to the large farm. Now, we're going to have a look around it in the small farm, or on the small farm map. So if you're on the small farm map, when we get to here, all of our equipment and machinery is up there at the small farm. So this farm we do start with on New Farmer. Farm Manager start from scratch. Obviously we don't start with the land. That was something I didn't say or didn't show. So these plots of land, if you go into on Farm Manager or start from scratch, obviously we don't start with any of these plots. The large farm area is 141 grand. The small farm area is 31,000. Not expensive, and even the fields either side of them aren't, you know, like I say, they're not break the bank stuff. But on the small farm map, when we get here, all the buildings are all here. There's no animals on here on either of the map choices, but we have 2 liquid manure storage tanks. We do have in here a silo. This is a 100,000 litre grain silo. The lights are already on, actually. I thought that was... Where's the light switch? I didn't turn those on. That's interesting. They're already on. If we come round here, we've got a pig barn. Hop over all that. Same here. All this stuff can be removed individually if you want to. If we open the doors here, please open. Pigs, 15. We come round here. We've got our wardrobe trigger at the back of the building, sleep trigger at the front of the building. The barn here is drive-through. What seems really peculiar about this is what I'm going to show you in a minute. I'm going to cut to another clip that I've already recorded. Quonset sort of hut, Nissan hut, I haven't referred to them. I think it's referred to as a Quonset, isn't it? Just here. We come up around the back. Cow barn up here. This will do 150 cows. The dialogue box is at the other end of the barn. These gates can be opened and closed. Like this is not a mod review of these in particular. And that is the large farm. Now, if you come onto the large farm map, all of your equipment and machinery that was up there is replaced and it's all here. So this is your start farm and your equipment will be here, but not the same equipment as up there. It's different equipment because it's a bigger farm. So the bigger farm, bigger equipment. So I'm going to hand you over to another MrSealyp who's going to show you around on the equipment you start with here, if you go on to the big farm option. Thank you, MrSealyp. I shall continue. So here's the thing. If you come onto here on the large farm option, the second of the maps, you will start with your equipment and machinery all down here at the larger farm. Now, I've probably already mentioned this, But on both farms, whether you do small or large, on New Farmer you will start with the same plots of land. So you'll have the small farm up there and you'll have the large farm down here. The difference being on small farm all your equipment is there. On large farm all your equipment is down here. So it just changes. But it doesn't stop there. And I'm trying to think again if I've encountered this before. Your equipment is different, so it's not like you've got just you've got the same equipment, it's just been shifted over. Because you're going from a small farm to a large farm, you start with some larger equipment over here. Now the animal pens are still empty. The farm layout here is exactly the same. The difference is the equipment and machinery. We've got a larger forage wagon, we've got a large plough, or say larger plough, slurry spreader in here, we've got a Deutzfahr, larger. We come across into here. Very nice. Trailer there. Front loader gear on the Fendt Favorite 515. We come around the sides here. We start with the class harvester. Again, larger proposition, larger header trailer. Come down into here. This is a bit of a beastie. Look. The Action TerraTrack. That's pretty cool. The cow pen is empty as well, but down the side of here we do have our seeder, again larger. So larger farm, larger equipment. Now I haven't already mentioned it, the slot count is different, which is I suppose because the equipment. But the weird thing is, and here's the weird thing. If you start on the small farm, as I've already mentioned, the slot count is 1,579 on all three game modes. If you come over onto the large farm option, the slot count is 1,555. So it's actually lower, although you've got bigger equipment. I think there might be less. I'm trying to think, is there less of it? I'm trying to think what other stuff. Potentially, but anyway, that being said, so that's the big farm. We've had a look at it in both states, empty and now with all the equipment on it. I guess I'll hand back over to MrSealyp. Hope I'm not causing too much confusion. Now, that's what I was going to show as well. So, if you decide to try and get the slot count down, because I haven't shown it yet, the small farm and the large farm, I have said you can remove all the buildings, etc, etc. If you do decide to do that and remove the equipment and machinery you start with, whether you start on the small farm option or the large farm option, the small farm will look like this, and the large farm will look like this. So yeah, I mean, it makes it much more manageable, and it might just be. The interesting thing is these are three separate garages put together. You might decide, well, I don't want those there. I only want one tank. I don't want two. Sometimes you'll find there on farms you'll click on one piece of rubbish and it'll remove everything in one go, which is great. But I do like the ability to tell a story, and if you are going to sort of bring a vehicle and load things up, and you can gradually remove bits as you go. I don't know. It depends how you play the game. I just like that as an option. So I know I've mentioned it a few times now, but it stands out. Now we're looking. All right at the moment. Right. Let's go down to the last couple of points on the map. We have got the Equestrian Farm sell point, which is just along here. So Equestrian Farm is just there. There's the sell point. Just past the Equestrian Farm, we've got a debris crusher just there. And then here we've got another small plot. And this small plot, you may have guessed, is a horse farm. So we've come from the large farm down across here, this little plot here, plot 43, 9,180, that's all. And for that price, you get 8 out of 8 horses down here at the stables. Again, you can remove this, remove the animals, remove the building, and you get a little plot here, or you can leave me in. Whatever you want to do is entirely up to you. So that's it. That is ALTES land, old land, the double whammy, twofer, buy one get one free. By the Lort and Paddy. I hope you found this useful and informative in some way, shape or form. If you have, please give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. And if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do. Thanks for watching.